Morgan Gibbs-White is going nowhere according to Forest. Welcome to your transfer news. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. Coming up, we're going to give you the crazy updates that are going on in the world of Forest, Spurs and Morgan Gibbs-White because they are all interlinked right now. Forest coming out with some strong statements. So if you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit the like button. Let's get over 1,000 again. You guys did this last time I asked. Let's show collectively as a community we can hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new, and join the Discord because we're discussing this right there right now over on the Discord channel. And if you're a bit of a FIFA player, join the Forest Pro Clubs team as well. Okay, let's jump into this. And let's give you the latest on this bloody Morgan Gibbs-White saga that is never gonna end. So there's been some weird rumors circulating round on social media to say that Gibbs-White hasn't turned up to training. He's doing a Van Hooijdonk. He's on strike. Rubbish. He's actually at the training ground training away. Now, he still wants to leave Forest, right? Let's not beat around the bush here. He still wants to go, but he doesn't want to leave on bad terms. He doesn't want to be remembered the way, say, Van Hooijdonk, as I mentioned, has been remembered by some. So that's one thing. Now, the other thing is that Forest are completely digging their heels in on this one. They are not just going to let him go. And there have been a few reports out today that I just want to run you through. So firstly, our mate Ben Jacobs has come out and said Gibbs-White is at training with Forest and he awaits clarification on his future. Forest are prepared to take legal action against alleged Spurs learning of the 60 million release clause. Gibbs-White remains keen on the move, but will continue his preseason as normal. He has no desire to leave Forest on bad terms, and clubs remain in talks with the deal not yet off. Okay, so that's what Ben Jacobs said. Now, that in itself is an interesting thing that we need to discuss, but the big update has come from Rob Dorset over on Sky, and we know he's always there at Forest, transfer deadline days, etc. And this is the key bit. He says Forest are adamant that Morgan Gibbs-White is going nowhere, but have not yet complained to the Premier League about Tottenham. He goes, I can reveal that Forest have tried for a year to open new contract talks with Gibbs-White. With a massive pay rise and removal of the buyout clause, but Gibbs-White has refused. Spurs are keeping a watching brief on it. He then goes on to say, both Forest and Morgan Gibbs-White have legal rights here. Forest have a right of confidential contract info to not be released to rival clubs. Morgan Gibbs-White has a contracted right to leave Forest. Oh, contract confidential. If a 60 million bid comes in, if Morgan Gibbs-White really wants to move to Tottenham, he may have to explore the legal rights to do so. Big news coming out of that. So let's just kind of refresh that and break it down. So basically what's happening here is that Gibbs-White and Forest have been in talks for the last year about a contract renewal. Forest were prepared to make Gibbs-White their most paid player on the weekly wages. They were going to give him, monetary rewards and what have you. All for what? So they could remove that £60 million clause. Because Forest, from what I'm hearing, value Gibbs-White somewhere in and around 90 to 95 million pounds. And this is why they're so vexed about this £60 million release clause. Now, whether there's a sunset on that release clause or not, the way reports are coming out today, it still sounds like that 60 million is in play. Now, from Gibbs-White's perspective, he has refused throughout the year to negotiate this contract. Even if, say, Forest offered him, 150 grand, he's saying, nah, not interested, which tells you that he wants to leave. Which tells you that when he's sitting there in that video saying, there's no place I'd rather be than here, they've only just begun, and all the other crap that he spouted, it's all PR spin. So, for you kids out there, right, trust me and learn this lesson quickly. I learned it the hard way with Collymore. Don't believe what they say, man. Don't believe what they say. If a better offer comes for a place they want to go to, they'll ditch us. They'll ditch us. So, it is what it is. So, look. Do I hold that against him? No, I don't hold any of this against him, right? I don't dislike Gibbs-White. My personal issue in this whole thing is that it's Spurs. That's it. I can't stand Spurs, okay? So if this was like, I don't know, a Villa or whatever, and he wanted to go cool, I would have less of an issue with it. Okay, but coming back to the main point. So what happens now? Well, I'm hearing on top of that, that Forest are sending their legal reps down to Spurs. Forest want to get an understanding before they officially complain to the Premier League of how Spurs got to know about this whole £60 million release clause. There's been rumours going around to say that the release clause actually says anything over £60 million would trigger the release clause. And the rumours are that Levy, being the tight ass that he is, offered £60 million and £1. It's starting to sound like Suarez at Arsenal and Liverpool all over again. So that's why it seems that, you know, eyebrows are raised, suspicions were raised, and what have you. Now, can he stay at Forest? This is the big discussion point now, because it is clear that Forest want to keep him, that Marinakis and co don't want to allow him to go, in spite of him saying he wants to go and everything. The answer is, I don't really see how that plays out, man. I remember when Van Hooijdonk came back after going on strike and the players wouldn't celebrate with him. I think it was against Derby, if I remember rightly. You know, I think only one, who was it? Like Thierry Bonalero or something went across to him to celebrate. The rest was just like on the other side of the pitch. So it gets awkward. The team dynamics get there. Now, I don't think that's the case with Gibbs-White and the rest of the playing staff, because they don't feel that he's gone on strike. I think they just think, okay, his time is done here and he wants to kind of move on. But I don't know how we would react to it as a fan base. It depends for me. The bottom line is, how did Spurs get that information? Did Levy and whoever at Spurs go directly to the agent and the agent released it without Gibbs-White's consent? That would be a different story. Or did Gibbs-White tell his agent, go to the likes of Spurs, tell him about this and just get me out of here, kind of I'm a celeb, get me out of here style. So there's all this kind of going on. I don't know how Forest win this one. If I'm being honest with you guys, once a player wants to leave, player power is so strong right now in football that the likelihood is they end up going. And it's just a case of, can Forest get the right money for him? But if Forest are valuing him in and around 90 to 95 million pounds, the big issue Forest have right now is, let's just say they do get Spurs to back off this. Morgan Gibbs-White doesn't have to sign a new contract. And the problem is, he then goes into the contract stage where his valuation is going to get lower, because I think there's still 2 years left on this. So when he gets to next summer, the valuation this time next year of Gibbs-White goes from whatever Forest think it is, let's just call it 90 million. It probably drops to like 40, 50 million pounds at most. And that's the big issue Forest have now. So the power, in my opinion, is with Gibbs-White right now, because even if Forest force him to stay, he can sit there and think, right, I'll go ride it out for another year. Forest have to then sell me next summer at a cut price, which means I can negotiate a higher, personal salary and what have you. But there are benefits to that. For him to stay relevant, he would then have to perform for the next 12 months at Forest, because he doesn't want his kind of clout and his spotlight to be removed. But I just don't see it getting to that stage. From where I sit here, my opinion is, get rid, man. Get rid. See if you can squeeze 70 million out of Levy. Find out legally if they've done anything wrong. And if they have, nail those scummy Spurs lot to the wall, is what I say. But I don't know how this plays out. What do you guys think? That's the update on it. Make sure you've liked. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.